Can you imagine a robot that automatically knows where in the kitchen to put your groceries even if it has never seen or touched those items before? No pre-programming, no instructions, just raw intelligent AI recognizing what needs to be done and doing it. Well, you don't have to imagine because it's real. Figure 02 is up to the challenge with their brand new Helix model. I was shocked when a couple months ago the US-based robotics company released a video of two humanoids working side by side to identify and put away groceries after a single prompt from a human. This demonstrates that Figure AI has figured out how to make robots work collaboratively with very little human input, and it's no surprise that the founder Brett Adcock took to social media saying, "We're entering the largest robotic automation boom in history." But what exactly is the Helix model and why is it so groundbreaking? In February 2025, Figure AI released a video simply titled, "Introducing Helix," to show off their new AI breakthrough. In it, a man holding a grocery bag issues a simple instruction to a pair of Figure robots. He says, "Even though this is the very first time that you've ever seen these items, I'd like you to use your new Helix AI and try to reason through where you think they belong in the scene and then walk together to put them away." Within seconds, the two bots stepped forward and started to place grocery items in the cupboard and the fridge. One of the robots even handed an item meant for refrigeration to the figure closest to the fridge, and they both paused momentarily as if communicating telepathically. Responses to the video were mainly positive, with several people noting how amazing it was to see two robots act in synergy to complete a task neither of them had done beforehand. One user said, "Never seen two robots hand each other things or even work together. Impressive." And I couldn't help but laugh when another implied romantic undertones when they said those two had chemistry, the shy glances, wordless communication when their hands accidentally touched, like they could read each other's thoughts. As impressive as that demo was, that's not to say it was perfect. As one person correctly pointed out, my favorite part was how long the fridge was left open. If you've seen the video, then you probably also noted that while the Figure bots were precise thanks to the Helix AI, they did move at a leisurely pace that many would consider impractical. One thing I noticed was that the bots did wait till they were done putting away all the items before closing the cupboard and fridge door, which in theory makes sense. But in practice, if you're a human paying the light bills, then you know leaving the refrigerator open that long and letting the cold air escape is a big no-no. If you've seen the initial video, let me know what your initial reaction was in the comments section below. Of course, to counter that point, another user said, "Right now people might think they're slow or whatever, but the hardest part is already solved. Just getting them to complete these tasks successfully is a huge achievement. Optimizing motor speed from here will be a much quicker process, and in 2 or 3 years, I don't think any of us are ready for how fast things are going to get." And honestly, I can't argue with that. The robot's precision speaks to rapid AI advancements and indicates that synthetic humans could become a major part of our workforce moving forward. After all, when robots have the intelligence of an average human, why not delegate some of these simple tasks and more to them? But we'll circle back to the future in a moment. Right now I want to address how this Silicon Valley-based startup got here in the first place. For a company that now produces one of the most advanced robots in the world, it might shock you to learn they're barely 3 years old, entering the market as recently as 2022. Now worth nearly $40 billion, saying that this robotics company had a meteoric rise to the top seems like understatement. The company first had heads turning when they introduced their prototype Figure 01, a bipedal robot made to assist warehouse and logistics workers with manual labor. It marked a significant milestone for Figure, and the robot was lauded as the first commercially viable humanoid. At 5 feet 6 inches and weighing 60 kilograms, it had the proportions of an average person and was fully electric with a runtime of 5 hours on a single charge. It also demonstrated a remarkable payload capacity of up to 20 kilograms, allowing it to lift relatively heavy objects with both hands with precision. However, none of these abilities were particularly jaw-dropping. After all, Tesla had given us their first look at Optimus the year before. Agility Robotics Digit was carrying boxes upstairs as early as 2019, and Boston Dynamics Atlas was already capable of complex parkour moves. In the video, on an LED display screen, the robot displayed, powered by OpenAI, its natural language processor, before correctly identifying the items in front of it, including an apple, a plate, a cup, and the speaker. After the speaker asked, "Great, can I have something to eat?" to which the robot replied, "Sure thing," before handing over a red apple on the table. When asked why it did that, the robot replied by saying, "So I gave you the apple because it's the only, edible item I could provide you with on the table." While that reply clearly demonstrates its reasoning abilities, several YouTube users pointed out in the comments section that the robot's stutter made it sound even more human-like. Figure AI leveraged this remarkable collaboration with OpenAI to bag a $70 million fund from Parkway Venture Capital in May 2023, and they clearly put that money to good use in early January 2024. They announced their partnership with BMW, sharing with the public that their humanoid robots were now working in the company's automotive manufacturing facilities. That partnership paid off less than a month later when Figure AI secured a combined $675 million in venture capital funding from powerful technology players like Microsoft, Nvidia, and Intel. Even private individuals like the billionaire founder of Amazon Jeff Bezos put his own money forward. Once again, Brett Adcock demonstrated that his company knew what they were doing when in August that year they unveiled their second and better model, Figure 02. Building on the back of its predecessor, the Figure 02 stood at around the same height but with a sleeker appearance that now housed a battery with extended operation time of up to 7 hours. Its grip and flexibility was also remarkably improved with 5-fingered hands that had up to 16 degrees of freedom and a payload capacity 5 kilograms more than the Figure 01 at 25 kilograms. Nvidia, the computer manufacturing company, also put their money where their mouth is, designing an advanced GPU-based module with 3 times the computing capabilities of Figure 01. In my research, I also found that the Figure 02 comes outfitted with a whopping 6 RGB cameras and LiDAR sensors for advanced 3D mapping and object recognition. That means it has improved abilities to learn skills like making coffee or serving food by just watching humans. Of course, such advanced learning skills came from the company's continued collaboration with OpenAI, who provided the high-level visual and language intelligence model to make it all possible. However, Figure AI's decision to dissolve this partnership in early 2025 would eventually birth their own in-house model called Helix and take the AI community by storm. In February 2025, Brett Adcock shared on his Twitter page, "Today I made the decision to leave our collaboration agreement with OpenAI." Figure made a major breakthrough on fully end-to-end robot AI built entirely in-house. We're excited to show you in the next 30 days something no one has ever seen on a humanoid. True to his words, the company shared the video of 2 humanoid robots powered by their new Helix model putting away groceries after receiving a simple prompt, and from the success of the robot's performance, it's clear Figure AI made the right bet. The founder went on to explain his decision for parting ways with OpenAI, saying that we can't outsource AI for the same reason we don't outsource actuators, batteries, or electronics, it's too critical to performance. LLMs are getting smarter yet more commoditized. Figure's AI models are built entirely in-house, making external AI partnerships not just cumbersome but ultimately irrelevant to our success. But how does Figure AI's new model Helix stack up as the main powerhouse behind autonomous AI? Considering it's causing quite a frenzy, I'd say it holds up pretty well. According to Figure AI, Helix is a generalist vision language action, VLA, model that unifies perception, language understanding, and learned control. At the end of the Introducing Helix video, the team highlighted these 3 integral components by pointing out the robot's ability to make immediate object generalization, vision, use one neural network for all tasks and robots, language, and show collaborative, dexterous manipulation, action. These advancements give it the ability to overcome multiple long-standing challenges in robotics, including picking up objects it has never interacted with and collaborating with other robots. In other words, with Helix, the learning curve for robots to perform tasks and learn new skills on the fly is now much shorter. As a result, Helix has quite a number of firsts under its belt. For example, robots with this model have full upper body control, including in their wrists, torso, head, and individual fingers. And with improved upper body control, that also means they can pick up virtually any small household object, even if they've never seen it before. But to me, the most impressive breakthrough is that Figure AI's Helix uses one neural network. In other words, it uses a single architecture with one shared parameter for all its tasks. Unlike previous models that rely on one parameter to walk, another to interact with objects, or a third to open doors, Helix doesn't need to switch from one parameter to the next. It's like having all you need in one app instead of switching from one to another to complete a simple task. The robots are able to do this seamlessly by using two complementary systems trained end-to-end to communicate, a first-of-its-kind system. One system, the VLA model, ensures rapid and dexterous control of the humanoid's upper body. In this approach, the System 1, S1, is fast and reactive in real time, translating precise and continuous robot actions to System 2, S2, at 200 Hz. On the other hand, System 2 is more of a long-term planner, operating at a fraction of the speed at 7 to 9 Hz. However, it provides context to the robot's action by giving a broad generalization of objects and understanding the scene. For example, when the instructor gives the humanoids a simple task, the S2 processes the scene, the objects, and creates a high-level goal to put the groceries away. On the flip side, the S1 works on smaller goals like putting the butter in the fridge or the apple in a fruit bowl. The S1 is also the part of the system that quickly adapts to the changing motions of a partner robot, while the S2 continues to work in the background to achieve the final object in the long run. That reduces the overhead training and maintenance, making it one of the most efficient robots in real-world deployment. That's why I'm not surprised they made the Forbes AI Top 50 list earlier this month. It's clear that Helix is an industry shaker, and with plans to tighten up the software and hardware integration, Figure robots are only going to get faster and more efficient. But outside the lab, what does that mean for us? Figure's strategic decision to switch to an in-house model for their robots isn't just another upgrade, it's a nitrous boost to AI efficiency in the workplace and will undoubtedly have far-reaching consequences to our workforce and lives in the next decade. For starters, just like their predecessor, the Figure 01 was built to assist manufacturers and logistics workers with manual labor. Helix bots will also most likely become a disruptor in the industry. In March 2025, Figure AI introduced BotQ, a manufacturing facility aiming to produce 12,000 humanoids per year. Figure AI also plans to use its own humanoid robots to assist in building additional robots. Can you imagine an assembly line of humanoid workers working end-to-end in precision after receiving a simple instruction to build a car? Considering Figure AI's already established partnership with BMW, it's not far-fetched. However, the part that feels a bit odd to me is that there's no definite date on how soon this could happen, and robotic companies may even be blowing their ability to mass-produce bots with such capabilities out of proportion. So what do you think? Is Helix AI set to create a robotic automation boom, or could it all just be smoke and mirrors with mass robot workers still a long way in the future? Thanks for making it all the way to the end.